Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the author, Andrew Snorton, and you're joining me for the Fast 15, as we normally do on Wednesday afternoons, about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We take about 15 minutes to kind of pause, check up, check in, enjoy a note from any of my books, audiobooks, and as you're aware, the first Wednesday of each month, we try to reserve that where we pull a selection from a fellow author, provide a few announcements where you can meet, greet, connect, all that type of thing, and then close out on a positive note. As you guys know, life be lifing sometimes, and there's times you can't wait until the end of the day or the beginning of the next day to kind of pause and reboot. So not only, I hope, is this a way for everyone to just kind of pause, pump your brakes, clear your head, refresh yourselves, but it helps me as well. So thank you guys for joining me pretty much most Wednesdays since like April of 2020 when we started doing this. So to stay connected with me, the easiest way is to add me on Instagram at AuthorASnorton. And when you click on the link in the bio, make sure to go ahead and go straight to my Linktree. The very first thing on the Linktree will be the newsletter. And the new newsletter came out a little bit earlier this morning, so make sure to give it a read, a share, a like, all that type of thing. All my social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube are available there. The website info is there, including any upcoming signings, articles, interviews, info on our coffee collab with Fonte's Coffee, the author Andrew Snorton blend. So right now I'm enjoying an afternoon cup of coffee. I'm enjoying the medium roast today. And archival editions of the Conversation Corner. We'll have more updates coming up with some other projects we've got in the works. So thank you guys for your support, and definitely like, add, share, repost, all that type of thing. So before we get into our topic of the day from one of the books, and before we go ahead and do our acknowledgments, I'm going to enjoy a quick sip of coffee, so if you bear with me. Okay, a little bit more than a quick sip, but when it's really good coffee, you got to get it. So shouts to our friends at Fonte's Coffee with not only our collaborative brand, the author Andrew Snorton blend, but all their lines of coffees and teas. So definitely check them out. Okay, so before we dive into our topic, I always take a moment to acknowledge people who are doing well and people who aren't doing well. And as we said before, life can come at you in some good ways and some ways that are far from it. So for anyone out there that's going through some type of stress or some type of challenge, be it physical health, mental health, finances, relationships with family, relationships with friends, relationships with loved ones, relationships with yourself, for crying out loud. If you or somebody you know is going through a challenging time, you have every right to feel some kind of way, because we are all human, and as human, you're going to go through the range of emotions. But what you owe to yourself is take a moment to kind of pause, reset, reboot, identify what the issue is, and ask yourself, does it call for professional help? And if you have access to professional help, go get it. Does it mean I've got to look at informal supports? So identify those. Does it mean I have to change up my routine, my diet, my workouts, my way of thinking, the people that I hang with, all those types of things? Identify positive means that will allow you to get through it, and not only that, grow from it and just be a step closer to where you're trying to go. So if that's anybody out there, we're rooting for you, we're pulling for you, we want you to be as successful as possible. On the flip side, we know people are enjoying some success. Excuse me, there's some people who learn how to do something new. You learn how to fly a kite. You learn how to cook something. You went to a new restaurant, or you checked out the art gallery. You checked out your favorite author. But we know that there are positive things going on with some people. And if there are some positives taking place across those and other realms, definitely pause, take a moment to reflect, take a moment to celebrate. Don't overdo the celebration, but definitely take a moment to celebrate, because you know what you had to work through in order to get to where you are. So if that sounds like you or someone you know, definitely go ahead and celebrate those things. And, don't forget those who aren't doing that well. But again, definitely when things are going well, take time to celebrate. When things aren't going well, take time to pause and just reboot and start identifying the way you need to move in order to get yourself a step closer to where you're trying to go. So in that spirit of moving a step closer, and hopefully it's a positive step for positive growth, we're going to take a look again at quotes and notes. Something's on the horizon. As you guys are aware, they're all original quotes with the exception of one. And part of it is what we know, what you put in your head is going to show up in some way, shape, or form. So you've got to be real cognizant about what you're putting in your head. We know that that's going to show up in your thoughts, words, deeds, and actions. So part of it is the deep thoughts for you to kind of pause and reboot. But another thing is giving a logic or rationale or explanation behind the quote. So you understand like the vantage point of where I'm coming from. And then it's space for you to journal whether you agree, whether you disagree, you want to go in a deeper direction, you want to go in a different direction, because again, all of it is an opportunity for us to kind of pause, reboot, reevaluate all these types of things. So again, the quote I'm going to pull from is from Quotes and Notes, Something's on the Horizon, and it's not just inspired by recent events. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I'm going to go ahead and come up with this quote, and yes, you can attribute it to me, and we're just going to go ahead and rock with it. Stupidity may sell, but it doesn't mean I have to be a buyer. And repeat that again. Stupidity may sell, but it doesn't mean I have to be a buyer. Now, before we get into obvious examples, let's start with commentary that people give, and especially when it is counterproductive when you've identified positive growth. So, for example, you've identified your passion and purpose of being a painter, whether it's traditional painting houses or painting pictures. And if someone talks you out of that, or if someone talks you out of you're really studying and honing your skills to be a cook, to be a teacher, to be a mechanic, when you've identified things that are going to allow you to positively grow in regards to tapping into your skill set, tapping into growth opportunities for you to take care of yourself, your family, things along those lines, and people down that or talk ill about that, or they celebrate one person but they don't take time to acknowledge or celebrate you, you got to kind of watch what they say, how they say it, and who you're around. The same comes true in other areas. Press and media, and sports media is a big one. Just because someone gets on camera and hoots and hollers doesn't make them the smartest person in the room. As anyone in sports media knows, that the people who really control those narratives are the people that sit in the press box, sit in post-game. So just because someone hoots and hollers and, quote, has all these sources, which of course we know he really doesn't, because trust me on this one, you got to watch who you listen to. And the same thing happens, of course, as many of you know, we are in a political season. We're in a voting season. There's going to be a lot of nonsense that you guys are going to see and a lot of nonsense you're going to hear. And I'm just going to say this. It's very difficult to take somebody seriously when all their thoughts, words, and actions are grounded in treating people as less than human. I'm just going to leave it there. So it's hard to take someone seriously and treat them with a decent, a measure of respect. You try to, because we're people, but when people spew that type of nonsense out their mouths and it's grounded in treating folks as less than human, hard to take them seriously. So again, stupidity may sell, but it doesn't mean I have to be a buyer. That's an original quote from Quotes and Notes, Something's on the Horizon. Apply it accordingly. And we're just going to say apply it accordingly. Now, having said all that, let's pause and pivot to a couple things that are coming up on the horizon. This Saturday, July 20th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please connect with Black Writers Workspace. I'm excited to be one of the panelists for their upcoming Pen Posse series. We're going to talk about the things we wish we had learned. Oh goodness, the things we wish we had learned before publishing a book. As many of you know, since 2017, I've been blessed to publish 4 books. I have 5 audio books. Of course, there's always something in the works, and when the works are done, I'll let you guys know. And there's definitely some things I knew going in, but there's a lot that I had to learn on the fly. And even now, while I have a better point of reference, there's still things that I'm learning. So I'll be part of a panel of about 7 or 8 talented authors doing great work in their specific genres and across the country. So join Black Writers Workspace. It'll stream on their YouTube channel. It'll stream on their Facebook Live. And of course, I'll have posts and clips, and I'll share, when it's shareable, I'll go ahead and share that on my YouTube as well. But thanks to the amazing team, Michelle Jackson doing amazing work with Black Writers Workspace. August the 3rd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Boo Williams Sports Complex in Hampton, Virginia. Join me as I'm one of the participating authors for the Butterfly Walk hosted by the Social Butterflies Foundation. So shouts to Chastity Corbett and her amazing team. The purpose of the walk is to raise funds and awareness for those living with and living through lupus and fibromyalgia. And I'll get it pronounced right at some point, but those two. So I'm excited to be one of the participating authors. You've probably seen the promotional video that I've done or the reel or whatever. So it's on my Instagram and it's on my YouTube, and I'll probably repost it as it gets closer. So those are 2 great events that are coming up that I'm excited to be a part of. On the press and media, and shouts to the folks at Emery Rose Photography, we've got a project in the work called Lens to Pens, so make sure to add that to your podcast rotation. We'll have some posts coming on that very soon, as we should be looking forward to getting our first podcast recorded. That'll be on Spotify. We'll share some other stuff on YouTube and things along those lines, but check the social media. Right now you can add us on Facebook, Lens to Pens. It's a purple camera, purple pen, so make sure to add that. We'll eventually have our stuff posted on Instagram, YouTube, and a couple other platforms, but we're just telling you right now, it's coming. So when you see it dropping, make sure to go ahead and like, add, share, listen. And one of the media projects that we'll be working on is covering the professional bull riding circuit, PBR, which is the main league or professional bull riding association. We've been able to do that the last 2 years, so we'll be on location the last weekend of July covering that event. So we're looking forward to continuing some great collaborative work. Let's see what else is coming up. Shouts, of course, to the team at Fonte's Coffee. Amazing people, amazing family, amazing team. So the AuthorASnorton blend, we have the decaf, the light, the medium, and the bourbon infused. So today I'm enjoying the medium roast. Make sure to get a bag of really good coffee. You may order it online at fontescoffee.com. And when you add me on Instagram and click on the link in the bio, we have the ordering information there. We're in some locations in Louisville, Kentucky, Metro Atlanta, and we've had pop-ups in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama, so make sure to go ahead and check us out. We'll have more locations coming soon. Shouts to all the independent bookstores that are definitely not only helping me, but helping so many other authors. A special shout to the folks at Nubian Bookstore. For those of you in Metro Atlanta, they are the only bookstore in Clayton County. Make sure to check them out. They've had some great write-ups in the Atlanta Voice. I want to say the Atlanta Journal-Constitution got on board. Atlanta News First has done a feature on them. So shouts to Marcus Williams and the amazing folks at Nubian Bookstore. And all the bookstores, all of them. You want to see a listing of the bookstores where I'm in, make sure to click the link in the bio for AuthorASnorton. The very first item on my Linktree is the newsletter, and when you open the newsletter, at the very bottom it lists all the books, the audio books, all the bookstores, the libraries, and all of that. So I want to thank everybody, but I had to give a special shout to the folks at Nubian for their recent write-up. The same with Detroit Book City up in the greater Detroit area. There's so many Pan-African connections in Dallas, Texas. So again, the full range of stores, make sure to go ahead and check them out. A few I gotta, talk with and chop it up with. Wake Forest University Bookstore, you know what I'm talking about. and a couple others. Hey, I just had to say it. Try to think if there's anything else on the horizon, but those are the main things that are popping up. As we get other things confirmed, we'll make sure to get those communicated in as timely a manner as possible. This is always a great opportunity for me to pause, reboot, chop it up with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy the pause, and the reset. Couple quick shouts before we get ready to wind down. For people impacted by the weather recently, for the hurricane that touched base in Texas, especially those in Houston, please be safe out there. I know Chicago had tornadoes in the area. I don't know what's happening, but all you guys be safe. And just in general, it's summertime. It's hot. Please stay hydrated. Please be aware of your exposure to the heat. Sunblock, sunscreen, lightweight stuff on you to protect yourself from sunburn. Like I said, stay hydrated with water, things along those lines. Just be cognizant and careful. Be aware and don't overdo it. For those of you that are on the road, in the air, by train or whatever, please be careful in your travels. We want to make sure you get to where you're supposed to go as safely and as soundly as possible. We want to see you again. So as we get ready to close out, remember July 20th is coming Saturday, Black Riders Workspace, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to check us out on Black Riders Workspace, and they'll stream it, and then I'll probably have some clips and whatever that I'll be able to repost. Check out the newsletter by clicking on the link in the bio for AuthorASnorton, but for those of you who want to go directly to Linktree, it is linktr.ee/AuthorASnorton. Go ahead and get all the info. August 3rd, check me out at the Butterfly Walk hosted by the Social Butterflies Foundation. That'll be August 3rd in Hampton, Virginia. And on the press and media end, we have some other stuff coming up. Oh, quick shouts to Antoine Dwayne Jones and Majority Greek Magazine for doing a great event this past Sunday. Brothers Do Brunch 2. Awesome inaugural event, so make sure to check them out for that. And check me out with in collaboration with Emery Rose Photography, Lens to Pens, getting ready to pop off real soon. And our next probably collaborative coverage event will be the PBR challenge the last weekend of July at the Gas South District. Okay, guys, run a little bit longer, but just want to take time to say thank you. Acknowledge as many people as possible. If I didn't verbally acknowledge you, you're acknowledged in the newsletter, so thank you guys. Of course, stay connected with me, AuthorASnorton at Instagram.com. And remember, whether it's small or big, a victory is a victory. Whether slow or swift, movement is movement. Keep it victorious and keep it moving. Continue blessings to each and every one of you guys. Take care, and I'll see you real soon.